All right, how you guys doing this morning? This is a pretty fun slate. I'm actually very excited, very happy. I like this a lot. There's a lot of different avenues you can go. There's a lot of different arguments to be made. Clearly we have enough place differential in the back that it isn't just centralized on like one driver like Dean Thompson last night and stuff. So I mean, there's like I think Nemechek is actually. Let me back up. The way that I see this race going two different ways in terms of line of construction. One, it's to where unless Custer leads a lot of the race, which I'm going to build lines with Custer and without Custer. If Custer leads a good portion of the race and leads, and it looks like Suarez just got a concussion. Actually, Suarez just had a fatal crash. This is a career-ending injury for Daniel Suarez out of turn 4 at Nashville. He's currently burning alive. Window net not down. Car is just burning. You see his hands moving around. He's actually just having spasms right now. Oh, actually, that didn't hit the rear end of the car. That's not too bad. At least he's going to finish the lap. When we look at the 10K guys in this Xfinity Series race, it's a situation to where if fast laps and laps led from one individual driver in the 10K range, which is Cole Custer pretty much, if he leads a good portion of the race, if he can stay out in front, he's going to landlock probably Nemechek out of the optimal or Josh Berry out of the optimal, because Berry and Nemechek both have a high likelihood of finishing inside the top 9. If he cannot do that, which I really like Chandler Smith today. When we look at and I'll bring up the practice laps and stuff, but when we look at the fact that the qualifying situation was way looser, or the track was it had less grip for what a lot of the teams expected. So a lot of the fast guys attacked the track like they were yesterday. Sam Mayer, Josh Berry, Nemechek, who would realistically compete for a top 6 starting position. Cole Custer, a lot of the Fords, Zane Smith, Herbst, Custer, didn't necessarily have that speed in practice yesterday. Okay, yet again, we're splitting hairs, and let me go ahead and put this up. So when we're looking at these guys specifically, like in yesterday's races or in yesterday's practice, you see Custer. He's fast, top 10 in speed, but he's not going to beat Sam Mayer, Ty Gibbs, Berry, Nemechek. He's not beating these guys heads up, whether it's right off the bat in practice or whether it's really late in the race. Like we can see that he's dropped to 150s, okay? And we don't really see him get back to 152s a ton, Whereas like Nemechek, for example, is still in 151s. Berry is not having that type of fall off. Gibbs is not having that type of fall off. Cole Custer does not have the long run car. When we look at Chandler Smith, the fall off isn't anywhere as bad as Cole Custer, and I think Chandler Smith can fight with Cole Custer on this restart. When we look at the lap runs, and normally I don't pull this stuff just because I'm usually happy looking at it through the practice laps in and of itself. But this is a race when I saw how many laps everybody ran. I specifically wanted to see what everybody's just 10 lap ranking was. And I mean, yes, we had a lot of people, run laps, in the high 30s, high 40s and stuff, but they weren't consistent, so they're not going to show up in the 15, they're not going to show up in the 20 and things like that. So when we look specifically at the 10-lap run, like, Cole Custer is not, he does not have the car, Like, I wouldn't be shocked to see him not finish in the top 4 today. Like, this is not there. This is not there. This is not there. Cole Custer does not have a fast car. That's just where we're at. I like Chandler Smith, man. I really do. He has a faster car head-to-head, regardless of where he's at in the 5-lap run. Chandler Smith is faster than Cole Custer. Sammy Smith is faster than Cole Custer. I would personally want to be underweight on Cole Custer today. And I'm tempted to not play him because I think Barry can end up outscoring him. I think Nemechek can end up outscoring him. Sam Mayer will clearly outscore him. I just think Cole Custer is, and honestly, a very, very risky play. I don't think he's a lock. I don't think he's guaranteed to do really anything outside of having, starting first, having the track position early in the race, whereas the other guys have to go through the field. And they might get caught up in wrecks and things like that. But it really is Cole Custer versus all the place differential in the back. I like chasing Chandler Smith as a lap leader. Much cheaper. I think he has very similar upside to Cole Custer for a huge discount. And I'm probably going to try and get away from Cole Custer in this race. That's just where I'm at. I am worried about Cole Custer staying up there. That's just me. I just don't think he has the speed to stay up there. As I look through other lineups that I'm building around that I'm wanting to use, let's go ahead and move this back here. I think these are. Actually, I'm not gonna. We'll go with this first. So Connor starting last. I think there's a chance he can easily score like a 4-7, 4-8, and probably be enough there. Mayer, Hemrick, Moffitt, Nemechek. Where's Barry at? Creed as well. When you look at these guys here, let's take Connor out for this example. When you look at these five guys here, the higher up the grid you go, the more risk you have. Nemechek is gonna. Let me look because I don't remember. So Nemechek has a top 5 car. We can easily say that. Okay, I'm going to. He's got a top 5 car. Creed has around a top 10. Now he's at 8,600. Certainly a much discount rate. And this isn't what I put in the projections. This is just what I'm coming at, and I'm assuming that they're going to be close. This is just me answering this or doing this for an example of how I would project these guys. When we look at Barry, pretty much best long run car. Even when we look at averages, because I sort these by averages here. This is all sorted by averages. So Barry's a top 5 car as well. Okay. When you look at these two guys specifically, the $300 might make a big difference and might not. It certainly makes a big difference if you're paying 10-2 for Cole Custer. But these guys have a very high likelihood of forcing their way into the optimal and working there. Brett Moffitt was most likely going to qualify probably 15th, 16th. That's where he should finish. This is a 15th place car starting 22nd. That's pretty much 10 place differential positions guaranteed. Basically just needing 38, 40 points to pay off for Hemrick. Doesn't even have to do anything. He literally just had. When we look at how Nashville plays out in the Xfinity Series, this went green last year. Yes, we had some incidents like Creed got involved in a wreck and so on and so forth. But this race went green. The colleague equipment is certainly going to make up for him starting 33rd. I think he can very easily pay it off. I think we can very easily see Hemrick easily hit value. Sam Mayer, very similar to Josh Berry. Fantastic car, good speed across the board at this point. Like, we can easily just say he's going to be a top 8 car, And I don't even think I was that high on him. I'm pretty sure I just gave Sam Mayer like a 13th place finish. But realistically, this man's going to be a top 10 car. So when we look at these guys here, specifically, Nemechek, Barry, Sam Mayer, when you build around those guys, and maybe that's why I'm probably going to end up having so much Chandler Smith. Now, I liked Chandler Smith before lineup construction even began to point me in that direction. I just like the head-to-head between Chandler Smith and Cole Custer. But when you look around, Nemechek, Barry, Sam Mayer, Chandler Smith, that leaves you 5,050 to spend on your last couple guys. I mean, that's mainly where that line runs into issues, because you're having to most likely go to Star. I think Brendan Poole can very easily run better than Star. We're seeing the JD Motorsports cars just lack speed in general. I think it's very much apparent here. Like, this is a track where you can see where cars have speed. JD Motorsports, for whatever reason, just they do not have speed as of late, because Weatherman and Poole would be able to get much more out of it if they were able to. I think this is where the cars run. But Poole, $4,700, starts 35th. If there's any wrecks, like, Poole's going to bring it home on speed alone probably in 30th, 31st. If there are any wrecks, you see him moving up to 28th, 27th, possibly 26th. Like, Poole can easily work out, and you can make that line where you're chasing top 5 upside, top 5 upside, top 7. We just wreck again. Oh, Bubba Wallace. Oh, man. Oh, so bad. Too much pressure, man. He cracked. Unbelievable. Good job, Bubba. Unfortunate. I really wanted him to start up front. That sucks. Anywho, that's kind of like my early opinions. I think there's a lot of risk with Cole Custer. I'm gonna have lines built with him, but I'm honestly worried about those lineups. Let me see. What's going on, Alex? And thank you for the 51 of you guys here joining me. We have an hour and 18 until the slate locks and things of that nature. So thank you just for being here. Unfortunate, man. We were so close last night. I was thinking about this before I went live, and I'll wait for you guys to ask some questions if you want me to speak on guys specifically. But I was thinking, Mac, I was like, I really haven't had some top 10 finishes for NASCAR in probably about a month at this point. I've been up there. I just haven't finished top 10. I think like a month and a half. I think I'm overshadowed by how April went for NBA, but I was like, I haven't. I'm really annoyed. I haven't had any top 10 finishes for NASCAR. Shout out to BVP last night for finishing 5th. As always, I follow the contest. I follow how lineups go. I felt really, really bad for... I didn't recognize his name. I wrote it down. I had it in Discord. His name was HornsFan1024. Don't recognize his name. Don't know who he is, but I think he max entered last night. At least a lot of guys last night. There's just a lot of guys who entered certainly more than one line, but HornsFan had the nuts. Had a really good approach. Was winning, and then that caution comes out. And it was a situation to where I felt really, really bad for him, because he probably entered at least 1,000, 1,500 into the contest, and he was probably at least doing like maybe like 8K in profit. And if he falls out of first place, he goes from 8K in profit to probably down $1,000. And that was a real unfortunate bullshit yellow that took that away. So I don't even know who Horns fan was, but I was honestly pretty torn up for him and how that played out last night. Specifically with people staying out, pitting last night just got really disgusting with that last yellow flag and the green white checkered. Let's see. Alex, no Cole today. I don't think it's that. We know how overpowered the inside line is here, and that is huge. I'm just really concerned about his long run speed. I'm still debating if I think I want Cole Custer. And I think the way I get different with Cole Custer is I play him and Sammy Smith together. I think that's a bit aggressive, and I think at least lineup construction, when people look at it, I think playing first and second, that's usually always a very low-owned approach. If I play Cole Custer today, it will be with Chandler Smith. But I'd be very worried about just playing like Cole Custer solidly, like run away with the race today. What's going on, Jason? Who's your winner? Thanks. My winner today, let me look. take this off. If you're on the Patreon stuff, I have like all my stuff say where I have people projected for and things like that. Just so you don't have to ask questions like that. You can support me through the Patreon and stuff. Let me look. All right, I don't have anybody projected to finish first today. I got 2 people projected to finish second. That's Chandler Smith and Sammy Smith. I got Nemechek to finish 6th. I got Sam Mayer to finish 12th. Because at that point it doesn't matter what he does, he's going to be optimal. But highest projected finishers: Chandler Smith, Sammy Smith, Zane Smith, Hocevar, Nemechek, in that order, and then Cole Custer. I have Cole Custer projected to finish 4th today. So hopefully that helps too. Hopefully that answers your question. This is just an interesting race, man. I want to talk more about like who fills out the line. I got interest in Jeremy Clements, Connor Mosack, Kyle Weatherman. Which, like, Clements is so interesting because I don't have him really projected to do anything. I got him projected to finish 19th today, which is... So that is right around... That's like right around 28 points, man. But he's showing up as like a guy to fill out the line. Alfredo, Williams. Like my last guy in nearly every line I'm considering to play. I just don't really have like a love situation with him. I think Connor, similar to like Cole Custer, I'm really hesitant to be on Connor. Let me make sure I got this on. When we look at Connor's lap times, I mean, okay, 24th. He bid it twice here. I'm not sure what they were doing. Anytime you see a blank here, just because they were on pit lane. Like these are very concerning speeds, man. That's really concerning because that honestly probably equivalates. It's probably equivalent to like having like a 27th fastest, 26th fastest car. I'm worried about that. When we look at Connor, 5-lap ranking 20th, 19th. The guys who ran 10. That would disagree with what I think, but I don't know. I'm concerned about Connor. I'd like to try and get off him if I could. Or at least be underweight. Similar to Cole Custer. I feel like there's more risk involved in Connor and Custer than probably other people think. Same thing with like JD Motorsports. Like Weatherman, we know what he has. The car is just super slow. Brennan Poole, like history would dictate, even when he's slow, he's a slam dunk play from where he's starting. Even if projections and practice speed and stuff don't show it. And the fact that Poole can just be a survival play and get there. It really sucked that David Starr made the race. Like we haven't had an MBM car in a race in a very long time. These stupid Emerald Gase cars keep going in on owner points and stuff, and they're just so slow. Like David Starr is just absolutely slow, man. I don't know, man. Mason Massey doesn't have speed. I can easily build a line with like 5 guys that I like. My last guy in, I just don't have any real pull. Like this saying Joe Graff Jr. in some lines. Jesus Christ, dude. So anyway, to reiterate, I like Nemechek. I like Sam Mayer. I like Brett Moffitt a lot. I like Chandler Smith a lot. I'm interested in possibly trying to get to Hocevar. He's at 88. I think he can maybe get there. Might just get there on raw points alone. I'm interested in Sammy Smith. I'm interested in Creed to an extent. Interested in Barry. I think Barry gets left behind. I think Barry's probably the lowest owned of these guys, despite the fact I think he's there. I think Barry's probably the lowest owned of well, actually, probably Moffitt would be the lowest owned. But like between like all the place differential plays of where people want to go, I think people prioritize Nemechek over Barry. They're certainly going to prioritize Mayer over Barry. I think Barry might be the cheap. And I mean, all these guys are probably going to be over 25, maybe over 30% owned. But I think Barry's probably the one that gets forgotten the most, just from looking at construction. I think Barry gets left behind, so I might want to prioritize trying to have more Barry than the field. That's kind of where I'm at there. Let me see, 6 of you guys here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Top 2 junkers, value play junkers. Probably Pool. Man, dude. I mean, we'll answer this looking at practice laps, but like it's probably Pool. Another thing is a lot of the stuff was like erased because like Ellis starts too high up. Thank God he's not in the back. Josh Williams, I don't know if they can get the speed to get there. Kyle Seager's in contention. Parsons overqualified. Perkins overqualified. At that point, we're stuck at Mason Massey, Jeffrey Earnhardt. I would just go with Poole, to be honest with you. I think he's just probably the best. I think he's probably the best guy under like $5,800. So if you can honestly just, I mean, I guess Mason Massey would be the next one to just survive. Probably Mason Massey and Poole. Those would be the two. That'd be my answer for the two guys in the back. What do you think about Allgaier giving a short track history, just current position? Also, I want to reiterate. I know they keep saying this. I love Nashville. This track rules because it's almost like we were real racing again. Because this is how all intermediates used to race, okay? You enter the corner, you got to let off the gas. You got to slow down. That's how Charlotte used to be. That's how Chicagoland used to be until we took the horsepower away. This is an intermediate track. This is an old school intermediate track. And everybody's like, you know, it looks like an intermediate track. And then you enter the corner and it's like Richmond. No, it's just how racing used to be. Absolute intermediate track. I would absolutely... I think Nemechek and Barry are better than Justin Allgaier. I categorize this as an intermediate track. If you look back at last year's Xfinity race, last year's truck race, last year's Cup Series race, the data aligned specifically with the intermediate tracks, regardless of what people want to say. So I would prioritize Nemechek and Barry over Allgaier. That's what I would do. And Jalen, you retracted your comment. I am very sad. I did not get to redo. Man, I think that's really it. I think my main stance is just I want to play Chandler Smith, man. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I like Chandler Smith today. I like paying up for the place differential. I think it's justified. I think we can very easily see why they qualified in the back. It's just, you know, the car didn't sit down in turn one like they thought it would. And yeah, man, I think that's about it. Let's see if you guys have any more. Let's see if you guys have any more questions. But that's really it. I like this, man. And I really like the idea. If you want to play Custer, and this is what I'm gonna do, play Chandler Smith and Custer together. Because I don't think Custer leads this whole race. I think he might maintain track position. But when you look at the races that he's been, when has he led laps this year? He just hasn't been there. You know, both times he started first, he led 38 laps, he led 5. He doesn't have the car to dominate the field, man. So either play him with Chandler Smith or don't play him. That's really my main stance today. That actually makes a lot of sense. Thanks, man. No problem, Stefan. I hope that helps you out in some form or fashion. I think I am going to end it there. If you guys want more details based on my projections, based on how I'm approaching, you can join the Patreon and get all my stuff and everything like that. Best of luck to all you guys, and I'll see you guys live show tomorrow morning. And also, you can be in the Discord as well and just ask me as many questions as you want. I'll see you guys later.